Guess what time it is? It's the scary time of the show. Because it's time for another Intrigue Journal with Sean Paul. Sean Paul.
It's okay.
I'm already nervous.
It's fine.
My friend, I'm nervous already, please.
Okay.
Are you scaring me?
Hey, go easy on us today.
Yes,
We got some really intense stuff here, and I don't know if we have enough time, all right?
Okay, so let's try to get to all of it,
I'm a very skeptical guy.
You are?
I am. Right. I don't just blindly believe stuff.
Okay.
10 days ago in Ireland, you had pilots that started seeing things flying around, and they started talking to air traffic control, and they said, is there any military activity scheduled? And they said no. And they said, can you see this on the radar? And they said, no, we're not seeing anything on radar. But it wasn't just one pilot, it was two different pilots that were seeing this thing. Actually, a couple more pilots. There were several pilots in the air seeing these flying saucers while they were flying over Ireland. So, that was fascinating, right?
That's for real? That's a real photo?
No, that's just an artistic.
Oh!
I just wanted to give people an idea.
I believe it!
Right.
Do you believe it?
Yeah, well, I do, because I started researching stories like this and many others. I talked to a man named Stanton Friedman, and he is a nuclear physicist, and he's been studying this stuff for 60 years. He's given 700 speeches all over the country and the world. And can we show Stanton Friedman's picture here?
Is that him?
Yes, he's an expert, and I talked to him at length. And after talking to him, he was actually the first civilian investigator at Roswell, New Mexico, to document the whole thing. And I spent an hour talking to him. I've got the full interview at IntrigueJournal.com, as well as his book, which is called Fact, Fictions, and Flying Saucers. So it was fascinating, okay? But here's the thing about what happened in Ireland is that is not the only time it's happened. In fact, it happened not too long ago over Arizona. You had American airline pilots and another pilot seeing the same thing, wasn't showing up on radar, and it was only 500 miles from Roswell, New Mexico.
Is that right?
Yes. And so I talked to him, and he said more than likely it absolutely is flying saucers. It's intelligent alien activity.
What are they doing here, Sean?
What are they doing here? Well, I don't know about that, but I will say that, you know, people like to just disregard it, but here's the thing is we've got governments and militaries that are now sharing with us footage that they've seen, because some people say, well, maybe it's just the military.
Or maybe it's a weather balloon.
Or a weather balloon, right. But you know what? And you know what, Jeremy, in some cases, I'm sure that is the case. But they're saying that of 3,200 reported sightings, 23%, they cannot account for it. They can't explain it. And so we have footage of what several military personnel have seen. We have a Chilean Navy helicopter, and they saw footage. We might be bringing it up here in a little bit here, or we might not be. Okay.
Wait, oh, is this it?
Here we go, yes. So I don't know if we can see it. This is, they're using a thermal camera to follow it here.
Is that black dot?
Yes, that was it. Now, this is the Navy in Chile, and they found it. But then there was also, in 2004, over San Diego, we had some U.S. fighter pilots, and they were chasing an unidentified flying object as well. I believe that's the next one here. Can we go to the next one?
Oh, my gosh, that's really weird.
This is the military, and the military can't account for what it is. They can't explain it, so it's not like it's some kind of stealth drone.
Right.
All right? So that's Missouri, okay? Yes.
Yeah, okay, we're seeing it there on the
Okay, but
screen,
then what gets even more interesting is then in December, an ex-government intelligence official, he revealed that he was actually running a real-life X-Files UFO investigation agency. It's called the Advanced Aviation Threat Identification Program, funded with $22 million from black ops money from Congress.
Really?
Yes. Now, these are actual pilots for the military, and they're freaking out. They had to bleep out the swearing because they couldn't explain what it was.
Where am I looking at, though?
Yeah,
what am I
I'm not sure
looking
what I'm
for?
looking at.
Is it that dot up there?
Yes,
okay.
that's correct. And they actually locked on it using their weapons tracking
Let me just point it to the viewers. This thing right here is what we're looking at right here.
Right.
I feel like Elisa
You look
Raffa
like a
right now.
weatherman.
And
I know.
Yes, but the pilots are freaking out at what these things. This is real. This is real. And so I spoke to him for over an hour, and he gave me 3 amazing conclusions, and that is that some UFOs, not all, are, in fact, alien-controlled spacecrafts. Okay, now we are talking, number 2, the greatest cosmic Watergate. It's the biggest story of the millennium. If people would just take this thing seriously. All right, we're talking about the most successful cover-up of data, bodies, and wreckage for over 70 years. And you know what? People that actually look at the evidence, they can't argue with these facts.
Right.
All right?
Do you think, Roswell, you know, the big thing, do the presidents know what happened? Are they hiding something?
Yeah.
Do you think they're hiding something?
Well, you know what? That's a beautiful segue. Because do you know what tomorrow is, Jeremy?
What is tomorrow? Thanksgiving?
55 years to the day when JFK was assassinated.
Are you serious?
I'm not kidding you. And I spoke to another author who just wrote a book, and it's called UFOs and the White House. There it is. That's Bill Burns, all right? And he said that JFK had memoed to the military to share our data about UFOs with the Russians. And the military did not like that. And he's suggesting that that memo might have had something to do with... Tune in next week.
That is a whole different story. I've never heard that. I've heard a lot of angles on why JFK was shot.
We're going to talk about it next week.
It's a cliffhanger.
It is
We're
a
holding
cliffhanger.
it. We're holding that
Absolutely.
info.
That's right.
Which is very ironic because last night I was watching The Crown on Netflix.
Yes.
And the episode I watched last night was where JFK got assassinated.
Oh, really?
Last night. I'm getting chill bumps right
Wow.
now.
Right.
That's very strange.
But do you
that
see
bring
how
that up.
everything is connected?
Yes. I thought Jeremy was going to say he looked out his window and he saw a UFO.
No, I didn't. Although I look every night.
Do you?
It's odd though, Sean Paul. UFOs scare me least.
I was going to ask you, what
Less-
bothers you more than ghosts? But ghosts?
Ghosts are at top of the list. UFOs, I'm fascinated by
Where
that.
does clowns fit in?
Clowns is right up there with ghosts.
Okay, I'm just wondering.
Psycho killer clowns and ghosts. But UFOs, I'm fascinated because I want to know what the presidents know.
Okay, Stanton Friedman, Fact Fiction and Flying Saucers. I've got the link at IntrigueJournal.com.
All right.
IntrigueJournal.com.
That's right.
And you're going to be back with us next week?
Yes, and we're going to talk about JFK
Okay.
and UFOs and the White House.
I
that's
think I'm going to have to do some research on JFK now.
Right.
Because I'm from Dallas. I've been to the museum lots of times because as a child growing up there, that's your field trip at school.
Right.
You go
I bet.
to the
Well,
library.
then you'll have an interesting perspective next week as well.
Yeah, I thought he was high. I thought he knew something that the government didn't want him to know, but I had no idea.
I'd always heard rumors.
Yeah.
You got to tune in next week for Intrigue Journal with Sean Paul because we're going to find out more information, more teasers, more cliffhangers. I don't know if I can wait till next week, Sean Paul.
I can't either.
Goodness gracious. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this.
Thank you.
Can you give us a hint about next week then?
Is it,
just a
let's see.
little.
Okay, well, my interview is on.